Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you enjoyed the videos last week. I gave them to you for more than their cringe value. The badness of them was just amazing. But they were assigned to illustrate what can go wrong when the worship leader is not diligent regarding quality. Now, I said before that most church musicians are pretty mediocre. That's fine. That does not mean they have to be bad. They really don't have to be. A truly skilled worship leader can take them from mediocrity to incredibleness. Is that even a word? As I'll show you next week when we start getting into some pretty amazing groups. So you were looking at the singer who was looking for a city but couldn't find a note. That once made me pretty famous, yeah. My home church in Greenville, North Carolina. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Whew. He couldn't sing a tune if his life depended on it. There was the out of control and I think deluded choir director. If I gave you that one, and really, can you see these 80-year-old women chanting, "I dare you to catch me riding dirty"? What? There was the saxophonist who was playing in the wrong key. In other words, he was playing in a completely different set of notes than the piano player, the keyboardist. What was amazing is neither one of them batted an eyelash or seemed to pay any attention or seemed to even notice. I don't get that. Now, I know on a keyboard you just push the little keys and the right notes come out, but a saxophone's not quite that way. It's close. You blow into the mouthpiece, if your reed's right, you push the right keys, the right notes come out. But to not be able to hear the atrocity that they were committing is beyond belief. They should never, ever have been allowed on the stage. You know, it kind of sounded like a cat fight in a garbage can. And the two women. Please go somewhere up on the mountain to sing the next time. Oh my gosh. So if somebody wants to sing, who cares? A lot of people want to sing, believe it or not. Unfortunately, most of the people who want to sing can't carry a tune in a bucket. So you need to be very, very careful. So those videos were a way in which I was stating what I see as obvious. Quality counts. If you got to be mediocre, you got to be mediocre, but you don't have to be bad. You know, there was the crazy drummer. You know, it's this nice soft song. And suddenly he just goes nuts for about a minute, and then he stops. Hello? Did anybody ever deal with that ahead of the worship service? You don't leave anything to chance, guys. Nothing to chance. I've run into deluded musician wannabes a lot of times. I really recall vividly when I was in college, a young woman who wanted to major in trumpet performance. She was convinced that she was really, really good. There was only one problem. The stuff she was performing was stuff that the rest of us had performed in 7th grade. I mean, it was that easy. She had no idea that she was that bad, but she was. Her family thought she was an amazing trumpeter. So did she. She was not only not an amazing performer, she was terrible. So be forewarned. 10 years from now, you might be saying, hey, Pulse warned me about this. I got this covered. I got to listen to this. Got to make sure that they're good. I'm not sending anybody out there who's going to embarrass everybody. So church musicians tend to be mediocre. Yeah, okay, big deal. They don't have to stay mediocre. Even average musicians, this includes singers, by the way, can excel with the right coaching and discipline. Now, we're going to get into that next week. You got some stuff that's going to blow your gaskets, I guarantee you. Every musician has his or her own style. What is style? Now, every musical group has it as well. Style is developed over time and through trial and error. Style is very personal. It comes from the soul, much more than from the mind. Personal style in music comes from the deepest parts of who we are as human beings. And it'll always be unique to you. Your style will always be unique to you, as mine is to me. That's not to say that musicians cannot perform in multiple styles, because they can and they have to. Every trained musician has done that. But every style has its own demands on the musician. What am I talking about? Well, most young adults have some understanding of such styles as hip-hop, jazz, the blues, rock. They're bewildered by classical, which has dozens of subgenres, swing, bebop, folk, Appalachian hillbilly, bluegrass, opera, soul, disco, punk, funk, reggae, techno, grunge, and ska. I have a clue what those are. Those are all different styles of music. We all develop our own personal style. Every musician does. For example, when I was with the Army Band, we played mostly what's called martial music or military music. It's a lot of marches from around the world. I remember Die Florentiner from Italy, the Gross Prussia, which is from Prussia in Germany. Much of it is derived from British and German military music, and they're two very distinct, different styles. We'll get into that next week. But the styles are very distinctive. So I can tell a German military march from an Italian military march within the first few seconds, because you know what to listen for. One of the stranger things that I did in the Army was I played the bagpipes in the 126 Regimental Pipes and Drums of the U.S. Army. And we played Scottish pipe and drum music. But we also played such pieces as Amazing Grace. Beautiful on the pipes. Now, for a performer, it's not all that difficult to perform something that is technically difficult if you're proficient. You do it, the way you practice it is over and over and over, slowly until you get every note right, and then increasingly faster until each stage you get every note perfect, until you can do it fast and you can do it in your sleep. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to read the music. You don't have to look at the music. You don't need music at all. It's called muscle memory. And we can do that. But you know something? Technical music without emotion is totally boring. It really is. It'll put you to sleep. The reason's simple enough. The notes and the timings might be right, but there's no soul. There's no emotion coming through. The most powerful music speaks to the soul. Music is not music without emotion. It's just a bunch of notes strung together. It's just notes and rhythms. The soul of the musician must come through if it is to have an effect. Most outstanding musicians perform solos with their eyes closed. Did you ever notice that? I don't care if it's a rock star, it's a classical musician, whoever it is. They almost always perform with their eyes closed. And did you notice they move with the music? And it's not staged like these rock singers who are jumping up and down and dancing around the stage and, strumming the guitar backwards and all this. No, that's all staged. Soul means that you move to the music and you don't even think about it. Seriously, take a look at some professional violinists, flutists, any professional musician, and they move to the music constantly, and their eyes are closed. Why? They're feeling the music. They're being part of the music. The music is part of them. The movements are spontaneous. They're not practiced. They become part of the music, and neither the music can exist without the other, as music without expression is dead. A musician who cannot feel emotion will never pass beyond mediocrity. Did you get that? Music without emotion is dead, and the musician who cannot feel and express emotion will never pass beyond mediocrity. Here's the secret, though. How the music speaks to the performer determines how it will be expressed. How it is expressed determines whether or not the listener will engage with it or sit back. The most effective performers can make you laugh and cry in the same song, and all without any pretense of superiority. It has been said that music can soothe the soul of the savage beast. That's true. It's true. They find that playing soft classical music to lions and tigers and various other kinds of animals, when they're distressed, it calms them down. Play heavy rock and metal, oh my gosh, you're going to have a riot on your hands. They'll be ripping you to shreds. The most effective performers, like I said, can make you laugh and cry in the same song. When's the last time you laughed in music or cried? I did both last night. I do almost every night as I'm gathering up video clips for you guys, but it's also for my own pleasure. So how this emotional expression works is based on your musical style. So you see, they're intertwined. They're like a Rubik's Cube. You cannot move it without moving all of it. And if you can put it all together, that's great. Now here's the question. Have you ever heard incredibly sad music? What made it sad? Why did you interpret it as sad? Did it bring tears to your eyes? What emotions did it pull out of you? Often truly sad music has lyrics, that's the words, that emphasize tragedy in some form. Again, we will get into that later. Country music. I don't know if you guys like it or not. I hate the stuff for the most part, but some of it I like. And it's been said that the perfect country song must have these elements in it. It has to have cheating on your bestie, divorce, drinking to excess, jail, a stolen pickup truck, a broken guitar, and your dog dies or bites you, or both. I think that's actually a pretty good summation of a lot of country music. That's why it's never been attractive to me. It's a little bit too much. But what about happy music? What makes your feet dance? What is it about happy music that makes you happy? Why do your feet start moving? Why do you start moving? Why do your fingers start tapping or snapping or whatever? why did you start going, oh yeah, what is it about happy music? Think about that. Sad music isn't always terribly slow. And happy music isn't always terribly fast. Though most are those things. Usually it's the lyrics, the words, and how they are expressed. I've been watching auditions on America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, and so on. And there are some whose stories just plain move you to tears. I was watching I think she was a 12-year-old girl last night. She's playing a ukulele. Yep. And didn't have a very good voice, but oh my gosh, it was expressive. And her song started out with, I don't know my name. I don't play by the rules of the game. And in those two lines, she had the audience hooked. Did not have a beautiful voice, not by any stretch. It was very plain. But the way she said it, and the music that she had written to go with it, was perfect. And another one, a young girl, I think she's 15, was singing a song to her father, who was dying of colon cancer, who was in the wings listening to her at that time. She sang her heart out. That's what this emotion thing is. It's not singing loud. It's singing with authority. And authority sometimes means very softly. But it means that the words, the expressions must fit. Okay? So we're going to go into several short examples. The hyperlinks will all be in the page that I upload. But first I want to talk to you about the very first song. It's one you all know. And it's called Hallelujah. You know it. Hallelujah, hallelujah. You know that one. I first heard it when the movie Shrek came out 15 years ago or so. And I've heard so many different variations of it since then. Some of them are incredible. Some of them are horrible. Oh, my. But it's a beautiful song. So we're going to look at a few different versions of it. The first version we're going to look at is going to be called the Canadian Tenors. These are 4 young men from Canada, all of them tenors, meaning their voices are fairly high-pitched. They're incredible singers. And they have their own interpretation. This is their style. And you're going to hear that. Then you're going to listen to pentatonics. Yeah, I know about pentatonics. Been watching them for a long time. Did you know they won America's Got Talent? Pentatonics does a version of this song as well. Then we're going to look at a group called Gregorian. Gregorian is a group of men who sing in the style, somewhat in the style of Gregorian chant from the 8th to 10th centuries. And they're all going to sing Hallelujah for you. They're all going to sing it differently. And then I'm going to have the composer, Leonard Cohen, sing it for you with his band. And it's totally different from anything else you've heard. And if you pay close attention, you will discover that every musical group that has recorded this has recorded one line wrong. And that line is, they usually sing it as, all I ever learned from love was to shoot somebody who outdrew you. That's incorrect. Cohen sings it, all I ever learned from love is to shoot at somebody who outdrew you. Totally different meaning. But I want you to listen to Cohen, and then I want you to compare it to the rest, and I think you'll find the difference is quite stark. Cohen's interpretation of his own music is totally different, and the meaning changes. The meaning changes totally. Okay? Well, that's the short synopsis for today. By the time you get done listening to everything, we will have put in our time. So until I see y'all, whenever. When do I see y'all? I don't. But if you're by the office, stop in. Always happy to sit and talk. Love it, as a matter of fact. I think you guys are great. And I don't know if you're enjoying this course. I am. But I think it's going to get more enjoyable from here on out. As always, questions, call me, contact me, email me, throw a rock at my window, whatever. You know where I am. You know when I'm there. And if the door's open, you're always welcome to come on in. Okay? Later, guys.